Hola bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic. I'm Magic Mel. This is my spirit guide. Hey, you have some spirit guides too, so I'm not the only one. I hope you're getting to know them. Welcome to episode 10 of season 5. It's the 1st of December. It's an interesting day. I'm taking it super slow, i.e. I literally just let go of all the to-do lists and really gave myself permission to just be. So I got up, tinkered around a bit in the house, then I went back to bed. Then I took care of my cat, and then I made a fire, ate something, took a nap in front of the fire, and felt guilt-free. And that alone is a milestone in my process. Allowing myself to just be. Something I'm getting better at, and thankfully, we are not set in stone. We can change our habits, we can rewire our neural pathways, we can regulate our nervous system and get it familiarized to being calm, to feeling safe, to relaxing, to doing nothing. Because the past version of myself was on the go, busy. Achieve. Prove. Future. I've had so many towers, so many house of cards crumble in my journey that I'm more and more arriving at the present moment, and I can be present with what is, i.e. with what I'm feeling in the moment. And I don't know if it's a change of season or just simply, quite validly, the fact that I've gone through a lot of very rapid transformations over the past month. I mean, so lying down earlier, I was even thinking, damn, this year, 2022. I mean, I don't know how it's been on your end, but my God, I really need to bullet point the deaths in the tarot. No, the death card stands for transformation. The transformation I've gone through. I mean, I can hardly recognize myself in a good way. I do recognize myself, though, by looking at what I am no longer. The skins I have to shed for the butterfly to come out. It was painful, this process of spreading my wings. But I'm getting used to them. I think it was Anais Nin who said there comes a time when being stuck in a cocoon is more painful than coming out of it. And brings me down to this concept that life always pushes us forward, whether we like it or not. I used to be in so much resistance and caused myself so much suffering because I was resisting change that I've learned the hard way that it's wiser to go with the unfolding, go with the flow. Trust life, accept, flow. And just trust that this river of life is taking me somewhere beautiful. Places that my mind cannot fathom. My mind is linked to the ego. And I want to clarify that both are wonderful tools. I'm not here to vilify the ego or the mind. But we got to put things into their proper place and role and not get things mixed up. Our mind is like a computer. It's a beautiful tool. It's the source of our imagination. I really try and take care of my mind nowadays. Give myself good nutrition, not only for the physiological body, but for the mental body. The thoughts I feed myself, the beliefs, the energies. And the ego, if it's put to the service of the divine will, then the ego has its proper role. Because the ego delineates our self. We talked about boundaries already in the past 2-3 episodes, no? The ego is a container of ourself. The ego says, this is me. This is you. Otherwise we all be like, mushed up. There would be no differentiation. So the ego has its place. But neither the ego nor the mind should be running the show. Because we can witness what happens if the ego or the mind runs the show. Fear, 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 fear. Catastrophe, catastrophe, catastrophe. Doomsday, doomsday, doomsday. Scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. I mean, the stories we buy into, it's incredible. The ego is scared of the unfamiliar and the uncertain because it doesn't know how to operate in the unknown. The mind often regurgitates old thoughts. Hence, meditation is so valuable and essential to giving the mind a break and to raising our vibration and to receive messages other than our old monkey mind thoughts that hop around and drive us mad. And transformation has to do with letting go, which is difficult for the ego because, again, letting go means stepping into the unknown. There's something exhilarating about that. It's like being at the threshold of an adventure. And the ego is like, don't go. And the soul is like, yes, take the leap. Trust, have faith. I'm a pirate at heart. I'm realizing about myself, but I'm pretty damn courageous. I'm proud of that part of me. But I wasn't always like this. And in this process of deprogramming my mind, I've come to realize I really take a look at these patterns or conditionings that I was holding on to. This false sense of safety that I was holding on to, which had very much a lot to do with familiarity, sticking to the familiar. Don't try something new. It's more worth a bird in your hand than 10 in the tree, whatever that expression is. I'm not so good with these expressions, but you know what I'm talking about. But our being longs for expansion because the universe is expansive energy and the energy doesn't go anywhere. So if we start blocking this expansive energy, we hurt ourselves. Our chakras get blocked, emotions get stuck. Ultimately, we feel pain or we get sick. It's wiser to let it flow, let this divine current flow through us. I'm not saying it's necessarily easy. We gotta unblock the river. And funnily enough, resting is part of unblocking because I told myself, you know what, Melanie, I need to integrate the lessons. Ça sert à rien if we jump the gun, no? It's like, okay, next. No, pause. What have you learned out of the past few days, over the past few weeks, over the past year, over the course of your life? Take note. Take stock of your growth. Build this strong foundation, solid vibration and foundation. Life is coming at us, and anyway, we don't need to like reach out and run after things. Life comes. Are we ready though? Are we solid? Do we feel solid? Have we integrated? Integrating means literally taking the lesson and taking the wisdom out of that lesson and incorporating that in our way of operating, in our computer, into our being. Can we put that wisdom into practice when the next challenge knocks on the door, when the next opportunity knocks on the door? Because nothing is static. Life is pushing us forward. So there's no rush. There's no rush. Let's stop rushing, running around like manic chicken. And trust me, I had two chickens during the pandemic, and they're interesting creatures. I'd highly recommend you observing them. They're actually like descendants of dinosaurs. Did you know that? I mean, I don't know if Tyrannosaurus Rex would be very proud of had he known what kind of descendant would appear in this day and age. But hey, they still lay eggs, still have the beak, they have these running, they still run funnily. Oh my god, have you seen a chicken running? It's like two drumsticks. It's hilarious. In any case, let's not emulate headless chicken. We carry all of evolution in us. Oh, my computer just died. I think it's the memory or the RAM or something. Anyway, we carry all of evolution in us, meaning from the very dense matter like minerals, everything, stardust, everything. So it's okay to take a little pause and to reflect on that evolution. Where did I come from? How far have I come? And where do I intend to go? For me, this process of taking stock me sirve para poner intenciones, to set intentions, because I want to lead an intentional life. I want to write my own story. I want to be the protagonist in my own movie. And I can write the script. I don't want to be tossed around or influenced by someone else's agenda. My goal for this year was sovereignty. I kind of wrote it down flippantly in my journal, but I came to realize yesterday, actually, I'm like, oh my God, I feel sovereign. What does that mean? It means I feel that I'm standing on my own 2 feet, that I can trust myself, my intuition, my instincts, my anger, my emotions, my feelings. And I can take and make decisions from that core. Decisions that lead me and align me with the life that I want to lead. I follow my inner authority. I hardly ever ask people for advice anymore, because I know if I'm still enough and I connect with myself, the answers are there. They may not appear instant gratification the right second I ask the question, but if I trust and I'm open to it, the answer will emerge. The signs will come to reflect and guide me on the right path. Because I am the path. And the path appears with every step that I take. And if I'm in doubt, I pause. I'm less reactive. I pause. I take my time to regroup, to let the dust settle. And I ask myself, where do we go from here? And then I follow the nudges or the intuition. That's following my own authority. I watched this documentary yesterday about Imelda Marcos, former First Lady of the Philippines. I can't remember what the documentary was called, the Shadow of Power, or the Power of Shadow, or Power in the Shadow. Brilliant documentary. I'm gonna get better with my quotes, guys, because these references are important. Do look it up. It's insane. It's insane that her son, Bongbong Marcos, is president again. It's a dynasty of oligarchs, succession of the same people in power. And what's the orange dude called in the US? Trump? I mean, there's all these outrageous characters, so-called leading. It's a joke. I'm not gonna get into politics, but what does surprise me is that we are surprised that these figures are at the head of power. I mean, political power, and not real power. We're like outraged. But in the documentary, I also saw how the people, the pueblo, was glorifying Imelda. They wanted a leader. The people need a leader. She even said, I'm going to be the mother of the nation. Total megalomaniac. But hey, she was giving them what they were asking for. We want a leader. We need somebody to lead. It's so important that we empower ourselves and connect with our own authority. Because if we reject our own sovereign power, soul's power, we're going to project that. We're going to act like immature teenagers waiting still for the dad or for the mom. Okay, nothing against teenagers. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just using words. Someone out there, Father Christmas, God, to save us, to lead us. How about we look inside? Erich Fromm, The Fear of Freedom. I read that book when I was a teenager, and I was like a little bit baffled. Like, how can you be scared to be free? I get it. It's scary to be free because freedom means responsibility. As a leader, you make choices, and those choices have consequences, and you got to bear the brunt of it because you are leading your life. It's easier to abdicate responsibility and accountability and have someone else sort everything out. The government. Yeah, it's quite a sobering process to come into your sovereignty because there's no more finger pointing. But I don't want to be in bondage anymore. I don't want to recycle on the karmic wheel and be codependent, have someone take care of me, because that comes at a cost. Because there's always an understanding, even in codependent relationships. I'm going to give you what you need if you give me what you need. Those situations can become scary and can hurt us immensely. The greatest freedom we have is the freedom of choice, choosing our own thoughts. We live in this time now where This huge transition is taking place. Age of Aquarius. So many people are waking up to their own power. And rather than being hopeless or feel apathy or feel powerless, we gotta like seize the moment and realize, wow, what an amazing time to be alive. I don't want to be alive in any like other epoch. I mean, I don't know about my past lives, but like Middle Ages, do just like a few years back, no. No, now, this is the time to be at the leading edge and take the reins of my life and ask myself, well, what do I want? What I want to create? And do it joyfully. Seize that opportunity joyfully. I haven't been alone for like 3 years. I used to live alone in Thailand. And I've just come to realize now how much I needed my space, energetic space. And I've come to realize how comfortable I am in my own skin and in my own, just with myself. I don't need to be entertained or distracted or no. I'm excited to explore the infinite facets of myself, dimensions. I even wonder if this life is enough. We gotta pause and look within. There's this, was it a Mayan myth where the gods were debating where to hide man's, woman's, i.e. human beings' true power, where to hide that key. They were debating, oh, throw it in the ocean. I'm paraphrasing here. Throw it in the ocean. And the gods were like, no, man is gonna discover the ocean. It's not gonna work. Put it on the moon. No. Man, woman, they're gonna find a way to travel to the moon. Until they sat there and one of them came up, put the key within him or her. That'll be the last place a human being will look for his or her own liberation. Let's have the courage to look within. Let's make the time and the space to look within. Be curious. Bring out your inner child. Make amends with your inner child first if you need to. I had to go through that process. I'm going to show you Mini Magic Mel. And this picture kind of faded into a weird cape. I had to make amends with her. Because she's the one that keeps me curious. She's the creative one. She's the one who has the great ideas, who's fun, who's innocent, who brings me joy, who reminds me to find and create joy in my everyday life. So precious. And this version of me is still alive in me and in you. So look within. Reconnect with your inner child. And all the other aspects that you may have rejected. Your fears, your insecurities. They all have their place. They all just try to protect you, really. But when we operate from the self, we can make choices. And when we're not anymore entangled in our codependent patterns and in our conditioning, then we can use our free will to really choose to respond differently. But we gotta create that distance to observe ourselves and to get to know ourselves. I'm thankful to myself that I made this space and time for myself today without going all crazy on my to-do list. Because let's be real, it's always going to be something to do. Always. But I'm not postponing my happiness anymore for tomorrow, not even for the next moment. I don't expect anymore these huge things, although I'm creating beautiful things and looking forward to them. The small, tiny, everyday moments are just as precious. And for me to be able to appreciate those, I need to be slow and steady. I don't want to rush around anymore. I don't want to run after things anymore. Aquí y ahora. Hier und jetzt. Oh, ich muss meine Sprachen mal mehr einbauen hier. Me gustaría, bueno, hacer estos episodios en los diferentes idiomas que sé hablar. Pero bueno, my education has been in English. It's the most used language, like a motor languages. The more we use one, the more automatic it becomes. But if there's anything I'd like to invite you, from all the things I said, I mean, with this episode is slow down and look back how far you've come, really. It's December, guys. I'm so glad I can decide how I spend this festive season. And I'm going to practice rituals like the Advents calendar in Germany, light the candles, but out of a sense of sacredness. Because that's what I want to bring back into my everyday life too. Rituals that celebrate the sacred in life. And not for some ulterior commercial motive, no. For their essence, for their true purpose, which is to remind us of the sacredness of life. And I want to do these rituals my way, in a solemn, grateful attitude and disposition. So my December is going to be to slow down and take stock, to rest also. Sun's lower, it's cooler, thank goodness. To look at everything I have, and set my intentions. I'm Magic Mel. I'm a magnet for miracles. I'm a visual artist, oracle, an alchemist of the new earth. One of my spirit guides is there. I'll incorporate some more of my paintings in my episodes. I'll show you some more things. Yeah. And sending you blissful vibes. Slow and steady vibes. And always infinite love and gratitude. Stay tuned.